This is one of the craziest things that happens over and over again. And I run into people like this in the music industry, and it's kind of crazy. You got people right now who claim that they love music so much. Oh my God, I love music. I don't know what I would do without music. I love music so much. But then they don't educate themselves on the side of business. If you love something so much, why don't you educate yourself on how to get paid? On how things actually run? Like, that's the thing I don't understand about a lot of people that get into music is that they get into music and they claim and swear up and down they love it so much they can't breathe without music. They will die without music. But then when you ask them a question, they cannot give you a solid answer on anything dealing with business. Now, how can you love the music industry and you love music so much that you can't even educate yourself on the simple things? There was an artist in the studio maybe a couple weeks ago, and he was asking me like just simple questions on like how, the music works and, how can you get paid and stuff like that. And he was a fairly new artist, and, he wasn't one of the ones that was like, oh, I love music so much I can't live without it or whatever. But he was asking me questions because he's kind of on the fence with it. He has a job and he tinkers with music, but he wanted to educate himself just in case if anything happened. And even though that we were like going through his beats and stuff like that, because he was referred to me by somebody, we was going through his beats and everything. He had some pretty decent stuff, but he really wanted to understand the business side of it just in case if anything actually happened. But he was not like, I'm ready to leave my job or anything like that, but he was ready to just go ahead and try to get as much information as he could just in case if something would have happened, which I could respect that. Because even though he only played maybe about 15, 20 minutes of music, we sat there and talked for almost 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? It was me, my other partner, him, and his girl was there. And we sat there and talked, and she was like taking notes and stuff like that. And I was pretty much telling her, you could actually go to ChatGPT and get this same information. And he went and he got that and he texted me back. He was like, man, thanks, OG. I appreciate you, which I ain't that old now. I ain't that old, but he was like, thanks, OG. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for just giving me the advice or whatever. This is something I could really take with me. And that was cool. That's one time. But then I remember, it's crazy. A few years back, there was this one guy who I'm talking about, he would perform everywhere. He would be at all the open mics. If there was anything going on in the city of Atlanta, he was there. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to get in, or he was in there, and he was just so dedicated to his music. He would get studio time. He would be all over the place, right? And he just loved music so much. You know what I'm saying? He loved music so much. And what I would say is like the events is kind of like what I would call like the beginner circuit. Like there was a lot of open mics and a lot of like back then when the magazines and stuff used to be out, he used to be at all the magazine events, the open mics, any type of like studio openings. Like if somebody opened up a studio, he found a way to get in there. Like he was around all the time. And people knew him through that certain, I would say, degree of artists, okay, that certain pedigree of artists. He wasn't like in like the top tier people that, like the top songwriters, the top rappers, the top, singers, stuff like that, top producers. He wasn't at those type of situations, but he was at the ones where, you were starting out and you kind of, get around and kind of make your moves and do your thing. But every time he used to talk about, he's like, man, music is my life. I love music so much. I do this, I do that. I love music. I love this. I love that. Right? But then it came to a point to where he was at an open mic, and it was crazy because, he was in there performing a song, and at that time he had like some trap music. And one of the guest judges was a rapper who had some success in the city or whatever. And the dude was like, oh man, he on stage or whatever. He's like, man, I just love this music. I love doing this. And it came about because the dude was doing a trap record, And the judge was like, yo, we've heard like 4 or 5 trap songs tonight, man. Like, all of them pretty much sound the same. Yours is pretty much no different from what I've heard. And the judge was just being serious about it. So the dude got all upset. And he was like, I love music so much. You're not going to talk about my music. You're not going to do this and do that. I really do this for real. And he's like bigging himself up. And this is what I do. I go to everything. I go to all the events. I do this and do that. And then this man hit him with the biggest curveball ever. He was like, bro, you talking about that, but you probably don't even know what a split sheet is. And the dude just got quiet. He was like, split sheet, what is that? And so the judge was like, you don't even know what a split sheet is? And now, mind you, like, let me just be totally honest with you. Like, I've never walked into a studio session with an actual split sheet in my hand. Like, I never did that, but I do know what a split sheet is. Like, that's something that, every writer, producer, artist should know at least what a split sheet is, even though you don't walk into the session with a split sheet. Like, that's one thing that you don't do. Like, you'll lose out on the placement. You'll lose out on the song. If you walk into somebody's session with a split sheet in your hand, like, yo, let me get these splits right now. Like, it's just an unwritten rule. You don't do that. But he didn't know what a split sheet was. So then the guy asked him, not me, but he asked him, he was like, so if you care about music so much, how do you get paid for music? Like, how you going to get paid from this? Like, you just doing a whole bunch of open mics, but you don't have any songs out. So how you going to get paid from it? So the dude was like, shoot, you know what I'm saying? And this is back, right when CDs was pretty much going out and everything was digital was coming in. And he was like, yo, I got my CDs and stuff on me. And the dude was like, yo, people not really listening to CDs. People got iTunes and stuff like that. We're streaming on Amazon Music. Like, we're not even listening to CDs and stuff like that. He was like, do you know how you even going to get paid from that? Do you even know how to upload your music to get your stuff on that? And the dude was like stuck. Didn't know anything. And I'm sitting there like, dang. There's a whole bunch of artists out here like that who claim they love music so much but don't know anything about how to get paid, how to pay people, how to even get your splits right, how to collect your stuff worldwide. They don't know anything. They just know about going in the studio and making a whole bunch of music, and that is pretty much about it. Now, I'm not saying that everybody is out here to go ahead and make a whole bunch of money. Don't get me wrong. Some people really just like to do music as a hobby. And that's cool. But if you claim that you love it so much and you are going to starve without being in music, you got to know something. And you got to do some type of research and study something about this. Because like right now, there's somebody right now watching this video that has all the resources out here to know how to get paid, how to upload your music, how to, I wouldn't say properly promote your music. I would probably say, there's ways you can go online to, give you strategies on how to promote your music or whatever. But they have all this stuff online free right now. We're living in the free information age right now. And there's somebody right now who has never even desired to look up that information to try to help out their career. Never even tried it. But then they'll be like, oh, man, I can't do nothing without music, man. Music is my life, music, whatever. What people have to understand is if music is your everything, then it just cannot be about music. It has to be about music, and it has to be about the business of music that you're in. Because if this is your only way of, being successful is doing music, without anything else, no job, no nothing else like that, and you want to successfully be an artist or a producer or a writer or whatever, you got to understand the business of this. There is no way possible that you got people right now who still ask questions to this day on, how do I get paid from my iTunes? How do I get paid from radio spins? Who collects my mechanicals? If they even know what mechanicals are, who collects that? People don't know this. But they'll be the main ones that'll be in the studio every single night dropping records. Some of them don't even know how to properly upload their stuff. They don't know about ISRC codes. They don't know about UPC codes. They don't know about none of this stuff. SKUs, all that. They don't know about none of that stuff. But then when something actually becomes successful and then they actually start making some money and then they find out that they're not collecting all their money, or somebody's been collecting the money, they don't got played by somebody, whatever, and then it's, oh, I'm mad now. Oh my God, somebody's been playing with me, which nobody should ever play with nobody's money in music. I'm just being honest. But this is the things that will prevent that. And I don't understand how you got people right now that are not even taking any type of steps to try to learn the music industry. They're not taking any steps to learn the business of the music industry. And I'm not just saying dollars and cents. What I'm saying is how to conduct yourself inside the studio. Like stuff like that. How to present your beats, how to present your songs. What you should be looking for, in a manager. What should you be looking for in a publishing company if you're trying to sign up with a publishing company? Do you want to have an admin deal, or do you want to do a co-pub deal? All this type of stuff matters. What percentages should you be getting for every type of song? If it's you and a producer, or if it's you and two producers, or if it's two artists and one producer, how would you do those splits or whatever? It's crazy how people don't understand that. They don't know that. And then the first thing is, once something goes wrong, they start blaming everybody because they don't know the business of this situation. But they swear, oh my goodness, music is everything for me. Music is everything. But then you don't know the business of it. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's like me learning how to fix on cars, right? And say, for instance, I know how to fix on cars and work on cars, and somebody comes to me and says, I need to get my CV joint fixed. And I don't know what's the standard price of somebody charging to get a CV joint fixed. It might be, I don't know, it could be $150, $200 per axle, right? But it's me being somebody who doesn't own a shop, I maybe can go a little bit lower. I can say, well, I can charge you $125 per axle, enough to where I can make some money and still be somewhat around the range, but I can still give somebody a discount. Or if I do own a shop, I can say, well, I have to pay for shop fees and everything else like that. It's going to be this amount of money. I'll know what to charge people so that I won't be losing out. So I won't be undercharging so much to where I'm not making enough to cover me and cover the shop and to cover the bills and everything else. Like, this is stuff that you have to know. And if I was doing that, I would research, okay, hey, how much does this thing cost? How much does that cost? I'll be researching all that. Because if you own a shop, you're not just paying for the shop. You got to get the parts. You got to pay for insurance. You got to pay for electricity. You got to pay for water. You got to pay for a whole bunch of other stuff. You have to pay for getting the oil and stuff. Like, if you're doing oil changes, you got to pay for that stuff to get disposed of. You got to pay for other stuff to get disposed of. It's a lot of things that you have to understand. So if you go into a business, or if you go into whatever you want to do, you want to do research in it so you'll know if anything happens, or if you become successful, you would know what to do. And this is one of the few industries where a lot of people do not know what to do, but they love it so much. Oh, we love it so much. I love music so much. But then they don't know anything about the business side of it. That's crazy to me. So if you're an artist out here, if you're a producer, if you're a songwriter, if you're a manager, if you're a wannabe executive, if you want to be an A&R, if you want to work for a record company, if you want to be in promotions or whatever you want to be, marketing, whatever you want to be, if you're getting into this business and you claim you love it so much, then you need to research the business side of it. Because I'm telling you right now, and I know it sounds cliche, but this business really is 10% talent, 90% business. And if you know how to manage the business side of this whole situation, things will probably go a little bit smoother. I'm not saying they are, but chances are if you run into certain situations, you will know how to navigate through that. So please get out here, to all of y'all who want to be a part of this music industry, get out here and learn the business side. Just don't learn the technical side of learning how to record, learn about plugins, how to make beats and all that stuff like that. learn the business side as well. Because if somebody comes along and they know a little bit more than you, then either they're going to be some good for you or they're going to be some type of a harm to what you're trying to do. Okay? It's not going to be good. So understand it so you will know and you can see what's kind of going on. And in that way, you can make better decisions when it comes to the business side once things start picking up and start doing the right type of numbers and you start making some type of money. So please get out here, go over the internet, get some books, whatever you need. But please, if you love music so much, get out here and learn the business.